What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Izzy Reacts. And again, just like my previous episode, if I sound a little bit somber and sad, it's because I am. Because it's been a tough, it was a tough week for the wrestling world and the world in general last week, man. In addition to Bray Wyatt passing last week, the day before, we actually had Terry Funk pass away, the hardcore legend, the hardcore icon from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas. Loved his in-ring introduction in ECW, man. But yeah, no, so he passed away at the age of 79. I mean, he was uh, he was going through complications from all the years that he's been in the ring, man. Led to a number of health issues, and ultimately his number was called, and it was a very it's a very sad thing to lose Terry, because Terry was such an innovator in the wrestling business. I mean, this dude was doing moonsaults and table spots, and all the hardcore stuff before hardcore was cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people that grew up in my generation would think, that all that stuff started in ECW with those guys, and maybe even Cactus Jack and Mankind and Mick Foley, but no, that is definitely not the case at all. Terry Funk was doing, I think he did his first table spot in like 1989, so that definitely that definitely was new and innovative at the time, and him doing a moonsault, Terry doing a moonsault at in his late 40s, man. That is just something to behold, and you know, I my first recollection of seeing Terry Funk was in 1997 when he wrestled for ECW, and this is right after he right in between him going to the WWF and becoming Chainsaw Charlie and teaming with Mick Foley. But no, that was my first recollection of him. I remember watching Barely Legal, the very first ECW pay-per-view back in April of '97, and he came in. He was in the main event. He was in a three-way dance with Raven and Stevie Richards for the ECW World Championship, and he actually ended up winning the ECW World Championship that night. And if you want to get a glimpse of Terry Funk, and the kind of man that he is and the legend that he is and was, definitely check out Beyond the Mat. It is a very, very good documentary that gives you a glimpse into the world of pro wrestling, and Terry Funk is a prominent part of that documentary. I implore you to find it on demand, or on DVD or Blu-ray, wherever you can find it. Definitely check it out if you can. It's one of my favorites, if you see it, you may love it too, if you're a professional wrestling fan. So for me, like I said, I seen him in '97, but of course his career started decades before that. And I was able to, through the magic of the WWE Network and YouTube, I was able to go and relive his stuff from NWA to his to WCW, all of that stuff, man, and most notably NWA, because he, NWA champion many times over. Legendary battles with Flair and Dusty Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat, and all those legendary battles that he had, man. And of course, Mick Foley and ECW in the mid '90s. Then what do you call it? Him branding Cactus Jack with a branding iron, and then the infamous ECW chair throwing footage. If you don't know and you haven't seen that, I implore you to go find it on YouTube. I'm sure it's there. So in a match with Terry, in a match with Mick Foley, there were it was a great hardcore match. Lots of crazy things, barbed wire, everything. And then at the end, fans just started just throwing dozens and dozens of chairs in the ring, and the ring was full with chairs, and everybody would make it. Both Mick and Terry were trying to get out of the way because fans were like actually throwing the chairs at them and trying to hit them. It was a wild scene, man. So yeah, like I said, definitely go check that out if you haven't seen that. It's a crazy piece of footage. Um, but for me, my personal Terry Funk story, I have a little bit of one. I got to see him wrestle for the first and only time at ECW One Night Stand 2006. So that night, it was it was him, Tommy Dreamer, and Beulah McGillicuddy, Tommy Dreamer's wife, taking on Edge, Lita, and Mick Foley in an extreme six-man match. And at first it was only supposed to be a tag team match. It was supposed to be him and Tommy Dreamer versus Edge and Mick Foley, but the women got involved stemming from a pre-match altercation, and then yeah, that's how it became a six-person tag. So so I remember that night. Crazy barbed wire spots. Terry Funk got fell onto a barbed wire board, and he was screaming, cut me loose, oh my god, and then the barbed wire got into his eyes. It was brutal, man. He's like, oh my fucking eye, my eye, and then it's just crazy. And like me, I was like sitting like in the middle mezzanine, upper mezzanine in the middle, and you can hear it from all the way. You can hear him screaming all the way up there, and it was just an insane night. But hey, being the crazy bastard that he is, he went to the bag, got bandaged up, and came back and finished the match, man. Terry Funk is definitely old school, man. It doesn't matter. You don't stop a match unless you're physically dead. That's how. Unless you're dead, that's how the old school mentality was, man. So as long as he was walking and breathing, Terry was gonna go out there and he was gonna entertain us, man. Uh, so what do you call it? No, and then I remember seeing him after on the way out, was waiting around for the guys, maybe trying to score an autograph or whatever. But that wasn't what I was there for. I just wanted to. If I ever saw him, I said to myself when I was sitting there that night, if I see him, after the show, I'm just gonna thank him for the experience that he gave me, and I got to actually do that. I thanked him for the experience that night and everything that he had done for the business. His innovation, his willingness to go out there and do anything to entertain the fans, man. That night, I was actively wrestling myself at the time. That night, I was just a fan. I got to enjoy wrestling as a fan, and whether you're in the business or just watching it from the sidelines or want to get in the business, man. This all starts with us just being fans, and anytime that we get to do that, even if we're in the business, anytime that we get to do that, it's just so special. And for me, ECW One Night Stand 2006 was special because of that. And getting the opportunity to talk to Terry Funk, although it was very brief, I'll never forget it. Um, yeah, so thank you, Terry Funk, for everything that you've done for the business, and you know, um, your legacy will definitely live on. You may be gone, but you certainly will never be forgotten. Uh, yeah, so and pretty sure there's a lot of hardcore matches going on up there. Uh, but yeah, very fun. An absolute legend in this business, and there will certainly never be another like him. Uh, Thank you. Um, yeah, so that is gonna do it for this episode of Izzy Reacts. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.